Our headquarters is far more than an office.
The Siemens headquarters should give something back to the city.
We have a very, very smart building here, really from the bottom to the top of the building.
9 years, a global pandemic and a revolution in how we work. A building that has stood the test of time pretty well so far. But how did Siemens headquarters come to life and how is it transforming? I'm going to take you on a tour through one of the most spectacular office buildings in Europe. This is Siemens headquarters. We've been based here since 1949 and it remains a vibrant international workplace in the heart of the city. This is where I come to work every week, but I never thought about how the building came to life. It's said to be a showcase for modern sustainable working environments. But why is that? To find out, I'm going to meet an expert from Henning Larsen, the architects who designed it. So Henning Larsen designed the Copenhagen Opera House. Currently you're working on the Prague Central Station, but today we're here to talk about the headquarters, which is super exciting for me because I love this building. Can you tell me a little bit more about the design process?
The whole process started in 2010 when we were invited for an international architectural competition. Siemens had the intention to have a new building here in this area that already belonged to Siemens. The headquarters was there before, but with much more openness and transparency and modern workspaces. And on the other hand, the city had an intention that the Siemens headquarters should give something back to the city.
So one of the coolest things about these buildings, I feel like, is the open courtyards. It's like a continuation of the town square and all these beautiful old buildings. How did you merge the old and the new?
Well, we took inspiration from the city center and the old buildings here in Munich. We had to integrate the heritage buildings of the Palais to the Wittelsbacherplatz into the new setting.
So the building really does give back to the city?
Yes, and I can show you outside. And this was one of the first and main intentions of our design, to have this openness. And you can see the courtyards, there's the Siemens Passage, they are all open to the public. So the citizens of Munich, they really can enter this headquarter. And I think this is unique for a headquarter for a company like this worldwide.
I really love working here. How do you think this building influences the daily experience of our employees?
Our intention as architects was to make a building that is open. You can see your colleagues, you can meet your colleagues, you have possibilities to meet at coffee bars, in the canteen. We have sports facilities, you have conference facilities. So the building has a lot of amenities to gather people, that it is a social space and that people come here and like working here.
Let's move on to the topic of sustainability, which our headquarters is renowned for. From an architectural perspective, what were the key sustainability goals and what were the innovative solutions and the passive design choices to achieve them?
Siemens had great ambitions to be the most sustainable headquarter here in town. And I think we achieved it because sustainability is not only an add-on, it has to be thought into the design from the beginning.
How could we see these sustainability considerations today?
From the inside you can see it in the lights, the depth of the floor plates. We have tilted the facades in every courtyard, so as much light as possible can come in, and so you can save energy on light and have a better working condition for the employees. On the outside you can see it from the top, you can see that you have PV panels and green roofs. You have a very good insulation in the facade.
So are you happy with how it all turned out? Did your vision come to life?
Yes, I am happy, but I'm also very proud that this building is really kind of a place where people meet and where people enjoy going to work and having a good day. And that's all what we can do as architects.
We've learned now that the building is focused on openness and transparency. But a company of our size and significance can't all be open and transparent. We need spaces to discuss new innovations and developments. And for that, there's a purpose-built room where our executives can meet. Follow me and I'll show you a super exclusive space. So the interesting thing about this room is it's completely soundproof. And it's also fitted with anti-bugging technology. Funny story, in the beginning there were some issues when they were building it. It was supposed to be 100% soundproof, but there was still some sound leaking out. The builders had to go around and check every single screw. And finally they found the issue, which was actually a dowel that was different, just one dowel. When they fixed it, everything was working out fine. I think we should test it. Could you hear me? I think we had enough fun. Let's talk tech. We'll use our own technology to make sure the building runs the most energy efficient way possible. I'm going to meet with Andreas from our smart infrastructure business. Let's finally get to the bottom of this. Let's start at the very deepest point of the building.
Yeah, at the very deepest point of the building, we have a concrete activated foundational slab. It's actually a thermal buffer for the entire building. We store heat in the concrete mass, in the pipes, in the foundational slab, but we also can use it as an emergency cooling for the entire building. Just to give you an example, when the building is getting too hot during summertime, we can pump chilled air or chilled water through the pipes, and then we take out the excessive heat out of the building, and the entire building is getting more cooler.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the central air handling unit? How is it integrated and what makes it different from other systems?
Yeah, so it's of course it's the heart, as you can see, of the entire building is the central air handling unit. It's actually that we work, for example, with buffer tanks. So we have a 5,500 liter water tank, which we use as a buffer. So whenever the energy, for example, is very cheap, we can increase the cold in that buffer in order to use it when the price is higher. The second thing is that we have a thermal shift of 150 to 400 kilowatt peak on a daily base, mainly between spring and fall. And this combination makes that system so unique.
And is Siemens technology here at play?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very, very smart building here, really from the bottom to the top of the building. We have installed more than 30,000 sensors in each and every level. We installed 52 PX controllers, and we also have more tthan 360 PXC3 controllers. They are mainly in the ceilings for all the blinds, for the automation of the room, for the lighting, for example. So really a lot of technology is here installed in order to get it to a smart, very smart building.
Yeah, wow, that's so much technology. But that's not everything. You mentioned that there's more in the whole building.
Yeah, I can show you a little bit more, but then we have to go to the top.
That sounds great. All this technical talk did make me a little bit hungry, so I'm going to make a stop on the way, but see you up there. Let's check out some of the culinary delights we have here at the headquarters. Starting here on the ground floor, we have the canteen. This is where most people come for lunch when they're in the office, and it's super yummy. Here in the Palais, the Culinaria, our fine dining restaurant. But don't worry, all our employees can eat here if they want to. But not just the food is great. Look at that view. And our amazing rooftop cafe, my personal favorite. And the homemade lemonade is delicious. So we started from the bottom, now we're here on the roof. And there's so many solar panels here. How many are there, and how is the solar power system working on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. First of all, the very interesting fact here on the roof at Wittelsbacherplatz is it's not just a rooftop mounted system, it's also on the walls. Overall, we have around about 800 panels, 250 kilowatt peak installation, and we are covering around about 1,300 square meters.
Wow. How is the energy then integrated in the smart energy management?
It's connected, of course. Everything is connected to the different systems. We bring the energy into the building to all our people in this nice environment. And on a sunny day like today, we can even go up to 20% of peak shaving or at the grid connection point. So it's actually a very good installation for both sides.
That is fascinating, yeah. It's getting a little bit chilly up here. Should we go down?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's way better. So we know the tech doesn't just benefit the building, but it also impacts how we experience the space inside. What smart features are in place to make the working environment more productive, more comfortable?
Just the blinds over there. We have a very intelligent shadowing system installed here. We do daylight harvesting, so we take the daylight when we have it. We measure it against the value, the lux value we need in all the different areas, and then we can reduce the not natural light with the intelligence and all the sensors we have installed.
And how do these systems like lighting, temperature, air quality adapt to people's needs?
At the end of the day, it's all about sensors. So for example, when you go into a meeting room, you will be detected from a sensor that now the room is occupied, and then you have the blinds, you have the perfect lighting, but also the shadowing of the entire room is then matching the perfect need in order to get that brilliant working environment and experience, of course.
Nice, thank you. Thank you so much for helping me to uncover the secrets of the headquarters. We've seen the design and the tech, but how does the day-to-day look like for our employees? I'm going to speak to Sarah, our employee experience expert, to find out how the building is received by the people working in it.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sarah. I've been with Siemens for 7.5 years and I've witnessed quite some changes in the headquarters. But I'm sure it changed before too.
Yeah, so it changed a lot since 2016 when we opened up here this headquarter. Now it's a truly dynamic space. Yeah, so it's designed to adapt how people work best. So whenever you want to collaborate or you want to connect in virtual meetings, you find a place here. For us, it's really important that this is a place to meet face to face. And these in-person meetings are really important because you cannot simulate this at home.
That's so true. Collaborating in person really gives me a different feeling. But how is the building used on a day-to-day basis?
Our headquarters is far more than an office. Yeah, so it is a showcase for Siemens products, it's our brand identity, and it's a global hub for our employees, visitors and customers.
So how did the employees react to the space? What kind of feedback did you receive?
We are getting really positive feedback here. We are in the city center. It's for a lot of employees very attractive to combine this with private and business. And second is also when you're here in the building, you feel that we are a global company with a lot of nationalities. So the people really appreciate to have this lively, energized environment.
So how has the design of the building changed how employees collaborate?
When we opened up 9 years ago this headquarter, we had more a traditional setup of our office spaces. But post-pandemic, when we implemented within Siemens this 2 to 3 days hybrid working model, we decided to move additional 800 colleagues here into the building. So nowadays we are 1,700 colleagues here in the building.
But what makes the building stand out compared to how it started in 2016?
So we are utilizing the whole building, and this shift creates an environment, a unified environment, where we can sit in these common spaces nowadays next to each other, independent which department.
So what does that mean? You said that around 1,700 people are based here. But how do you monitor how busy the office gets on any given day?
That's quite interesting. We are analyzing day by day our card readers, and in addition we are also having sensors below our desk that we really see how's the usage and the occupancy in the building.
How do you see the building continuing to evolve?
So moving forward, that means we will share more and more our spaces. So where it is possible, we share our spaces within Siemens, independent which department we are. We want to live more the open door policy and also want to increase our desk sharing ratio to 1:3. In collaboration with our IT department, we are at the moment also testing what supports this in the future. So it's for us really important to test and to try out what of the technologies at the moment can support our future working model.
So that means we're really shaping the future of work.
Yes, we are.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
This building is not just a reflection of where Siemens has been, but a dynamic blueprint for where it's going. In the heart of Munich, it's a living, breathing space that adapts, evolves, and continues to inspire.